well, and she's sorry to miss the meeting tonight. But we do have everybody else here, and so we'll get to started. Call to order at 7:03, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice for all. And I know there's somebody, at least one person signed up under public comment. No, I think it's not. That's easy. Thank you very much. Oh, James is on there too? Okay, the first person up for public comment is Moises Flores. So, welcome.
Hello.
And have a seat.
Hi, my name is Moises Flores. I'm from Windham. I just got a couple of issues about my daughter. I read the policy for the school about this guy's shoes to wear them because my daughter got suspended for 2 days wearing the shoes to school. So I just read the policy. I went and met with the principal. He was not sure because they said no sandals, but with sandals with a strap on the back, and this got strap on the back. I don't know if that's she can wear this to school. I don't know. We're gonna find out tomorrow. And another thing was her bandana. She got one that says Nike. It's because she got like puffy hair, a lot of hair, my daughter, and she always wear it. She don't take it out. She just wear it to her hair. And she got in trouble twice today in school. So I had to leave work today just to talk to the principal. I'm not sure if she can wear this or the thin ones. I'm not sure. You know, it don't say nothing about bandanas. I was thinking it was bandana, like covering your hair, like bandana. But it was just this to cover her hair. You know, I see a lot of girls just holding the hair because they got a lot of hair. Like my daughter got a lot of hair. She put a ponytail on top, but she like covered on the front. Mm-hmm. And another it was the pants. She wears the black pants, but they're like they're not jogging pants. They're like sports pants. I know that says there something about that. But last time she got in trouble because they were white on the side, so we bought black ones for her, and she still got in trouble. Mm-hmm. I know it's a uniform policy, but I know they can wear blue khaki pants. And I see a lot of kids. I went to the school today. I see that before. I see a lot of kids with no uniforms, sandals. And now with uniform, it's like every week is like my daughter. They call all the time. And first they said she was suspended and found out she's supposed to go to school on Saturday for detention. And the other is not a lot of communication going on over there. But I talked to the new principal today. I forgot his name, Dr. Who?
Dr. Ware.
Yeah, yes, I talked to him today, and he said he was going to check. Well, I don't know. You guys. You know, I know school's over in like another month. Mm-hmm. I think they need to push the policy for the uniform more harder because I see kids with no uniform. And my daughter go with the uniform, but she wear this to school, and they told her she got suspended for 2 days. Suspended, what she's going to do at home? Mm-hmm. She's not getting no education, you know? So it's like, I just left today, work at 12. I don't know. Something, I don't know about this. You know, I just want to know. There's nothing to say about this on the book. I got the policy. He gave it to me today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Flores. The way public comment works is we're happy to hear from people, but we do not engage in back and forth conversation. So we've taken note of what your concerns are, and somebody will follow up with you after this evening, okay? And clarify things.
I know the principal says he's going to call tomorrow because my daughter's bringing the shoes to school to show him.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Yes, Mike?
When the member of the public gets something back, a response, is it possible that the board also gets this response? So that way there we know what's being put out to the public and,
Absolutely.
and what kind of policies are being.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So another Mr. Flores, but This time it's James Flores.
Well, not related. But
I
love
know,
him.
but-
Not related, but I love him like my brother.
One is my neighbor and one is my former town council
Oh.
table mate.
But now I'm a proud bus driver. I remember Civil War. I like the American Civil War. But now my next Civil War is the Windham Board of Education Civil Wars. Too much back and forward here. And I want to encourage you to let party line out the door. And when you're here to represent our children. Too much politics. I love politics. But when I sit down in that chair, I represent the community, the children, not my own agenda. I want to encourage every one of you, get out on Facebook, get out on radio show, and use in this table, discuss those issues in this table. If I'm elected, that's my forum. I cannot be in the microphone in a radio attacking another member of the board or attacking my sister, Dr. Garcia. No, it's unethical and unprofessional. This is the right forum. As a bus driver, as a loser, I can attack everybody because I'm nobody. But when you are elected official, you're not a bus driver, you're elected official, the standard is higher. It's disgusting to see members of this board on TV, on Facebook, attacking each other. Look like a medulla when there's a child. Please, you need to go up. Every single of you. Don't behave like me, like a bus driver. Behave like a professional, please. Other point I have to bring to you, I know every time I send a nasty letter, somebody call me. Where I send a friendly letter, nobody care. I talked to my sister, Dr. Garcia. I sent her a nice email, very friendly. I never do it because she's my sister. I behave very nicely with her. I asked in that email, teacher educate children. My question is, who educate teachers? Because a teacher in the public school, they understand the political process. Few staff ask me why we vote for the budget. I'm a bus driver. I don't know, but I Google it. How can you be a Windham public school staff and don't know that your fault is a budget? Can somebody ask me that later? Other question, Dr. Garcia, Mr. Garcia, I love you, you know that. I sent an email. I never got you answered. About, I have to you about work, but I won't do it today. Let me control myself because I'm tired to hear the silent period. I'm a teacher, I cannot campaign. Come on. If you are a teacher, you're also an American citizen, and you are right. When if you're a teacher or paraprofessional or custodian crossing guard, because my system needs to educate you on staff, the laws. If you are a Windham public school staff, you work from 8, if you work from 8 to 2, you go home, and when you home, you can do whatever you want. You can call people, you can phone, you can do sign, you can do everything, vote yes or vote no. But my sister, Dr. Garcia, please, you need to explain as soon as possible, we got 2 weeks, that every single Windham public school has constitutional right. They can vote yes, they can vote no, they can put a sign, but they need to get involved. Next time I hear somebody say, oh, I cannot get involved because period time, you're not going to say, I'm neither, because I also got my period time. I want Windham public school staff to be oriented by my sister, Dr. Garcia, and tell them, you are right, you can vote yes, you can vote no, but you can do it after school. Please, I want that response in my desk as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody who didn't sign up for public comment who would like to speak? Okay, so we're going to move on to discussion item number 1, which is, and the only discussion item for today, which is the alternative school. This has been on our schedule to get a report on this. We set a schedule earlier on in the year, and it's a good time now to be hearing about what's up with the STEPS Academy.
Sure.
And I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Garcia.
Sure. So as part of our workshop, as part of our workshop agenda, well, good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming this afternoon. The topic of today is the alternative education school steps that we have located on Main Street. And this is the right time to discuss this topic as we're coming to the close of the end of the school year, and this program has been, the school has been in existence for 1 year, basically. So today we have with us Mrs. Joanne Jara, that is the principal of Steps Academy. We have Mrs. McCormick, our special ed district-wide teacher, and Mrs. Lozada, that is the social worker at the high school that will be participating with us. Those very briefly, giving you some objective of the objective of session of today. We want to review an overview of the STEPS Academy, very briefly, how we started. I think it's important to know the beginning of the STEPS Academy in order to look at the determination of where we want to go later through this program. Some key features of this alternative school is an alternative program for students that did not feel comfortable or do not meet the guidelines of the regular traditional high school. And so there's some key features that make this school very, very unique. Some outcomes and testimony of the students. I think it's very important for you to know, and you will hear the number of students that are graduating, that will graduate. I'm very happy to see those numbers. And also some testimony of the student and the teacher, how they feel in the school and this program. And then we'll discuss the step for the 20 for the STEP Academy. So I have with me again Mrs. John Haddock, the interim administrator, Mrs. McCormick, part-time teacher for the district and for the STEP, Mrs. Lozada, social worker, and Miss Liz is one of the teachers going to be in the presentation. And I will be remiss if I don't acknowledge Dr. Youngberg. Where's Dr. Youngberg? Tracy Youngberg, that have worked with the STEP Academy all year and also is crucial part of this presentation. So Tracy, thank you for all your work with the STEP Academy. So just very briefly, I don't know if you remember that last year summer, we were called at the State Department of Education to say, here you have 66 students that belong to Windham Public School. We know school is going to open in a couple of weeks, but they are your students, and you need to have an alternative program to start the school. And there was no discussion, we just have to do it. And so we start looking right away for places, for curriculum, for administrator, for teacher. I can tell you that this could not be done. It would never have been done if we didn't have people that work through the days, weeks and days, and hours and Saturday. Mr. Robinson Camacho, Mr. Jose Camacho, Miguel Pavon, Susan Craw. Those are the team of 4 people that came on the weekend and worked to make this happen. And so we started by looking at the 66 students that we have, meeting with every single one of them, looking at their credential and giving them options. Some could go to EastCon, some decided they did not want to continue in the program. But there you have the 66 students, and some came to the high school, some of them we could not locate, some went to Job Corps. But what was important is that every student individually was analyzed, look at their skills, look at the credits that they have, the parents were brought in, and they were given option to meet the needs of those individual students. So, during the 18-19 school year, the STEP Academy has worked with 40 students in and out. 3 of them graduated early graduates. I want you to keep that word in your early graduate. 8 of them are graduating June 11. John, June 11?
Right.
June 11. 4 of them have returned to the high school, and 25 are currently attending. I think for a program that started just a couple of weeks in the summer, and we are putting it together, the curriculum together, the guidelines, the handbook together. I think to have this outcome, I really want all of you guys to join me in giving this team a round of applause. And the team that work on this program. So we have, I want to turn it on to John, but I want you to know that we staffed this alternative program. We wanted the kids to be successful, so we wanted to make sure that it have the teachers and the services for the kids to be successful. We have a full-time administrator, we have 2 full-time teachers there, we have a part-time special ed, we have a full-time social worker, we have a security guard, and we have a secretary. We want to make sure that we could meet the needs of our students. So I will pass it over to Joanne, and then you will hear some testimony from the students and from the staff of what took place, and then I will come back to talk about our next step for next year. Joanne, it's all yours.
Thank you.
And I will remiss to say that Joanne have done a tremendous, outstanding job. Let's give Joanne a round of applause.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So, yes, as the administrator, I did want to say that I've worked hard, and so has the entire staff, but I've worked hard to support the staff and the students through firm, fair, and consistent leadership, accountability for all, creating positive relationships in a culturally relevant environment, offering consistent feedback, and allowing each person to have a voice in the daily workings of our academy. So here we have one of our other key features being the daily schedule. So we began by trying to create a schedule that was conducive to that of an alternative high school with a shortened day. So our social skills class, as you can see, we began every day. We continue to begin every day at 9:15 with a social skills class, and we end the day also with a social skills class. That is led by Ms. Lozada. And this has been an important opportunity for all staff and students to begin and end each day in a circle of dialogue using the restorative practices approach where all voices are heard. It's just an awesome time because they know what to expect. Our students come in, there's a structure to it, yet they're free to have conversations because we begin each one with a Pledge of Allegiance. Every day we have shout outs, questions, concerns, what lies ahead, what's in the news, and most important to them and to us, hey, what's for lunch? Okay, so that's always an important time of day. Our classes are 45 minutes long, so it's not so long that they're, itching to get out. And it's enough time, however, to cover the curriculum and content that we need for them to master each area. And our teachers, by the way, are available every Tuesday through Friday after school for students that come in for extra help, credit recovery, and for makeup work. So next we have our curriculum. As you can see, we have our typical high school course offerings: ELA, social studies, sciences, math, health, and PE. We also have our blended learning Edgenuity platform, which is where students can complete high school courses online with teacher support. This is also where credit recovery can come in. So the teachers are there to give them that online support. We have that built into some of our classroom time, and then students come in after school as well to work on that. And some have come in the morning before we even begin to work on it. It is also something that they are able to work on outside the home, but we are very limited on the time that they can do that because there is teacher interjection that's needed there, which is all part of our mastery-based learning as well. Capstone projects. 9 students have worked on their capstone projects. This is a project that every senior in every high school in Connecticut completes. And the great thing about our capstone projects this year, so far we've had 3 present. We have 6 more to go. In fact, we have 1 tomorrow and we have another one on Friday. But they have contributed to their post-secondary goals and by having community partnerships with Covenant Soup Kitchen, St. Joe's Living Center, Tara's Farm Rescue, the Mill Museum, and Windham Middle School, where we had 1 student working on an organizational management interest area. But there's going to be more on some of this when Ms. Lozada comes up as well, and I'm going to invite her to come up at this time, actually. Okay, well, wait a minute. I guess we have one of our student videos to start here now first, right? Oh, okay.
Basically, it's kind of, so you're familiar with the Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the symbol for the Phoenix, how
The Phoenix, like, in front of you.
the Phoenix lives for 1,000+ years, and then after their, life has run out, they die and they burn up into ashes, but they're reborn from the ashes in which they...
That's crazy, that stuff.
So this is another symbol similar to that of kind of the eternal cycle of things being born and dying and being reborn. That's what I thought you were talking about for this particular. I can see why you want for this one. It's pretty good, right?
So for this one, you could write.
Do you think you have this one?
¿Qué significa eso?
Is it?
Well, the infinity symbol is also a symbol of,
Remember the symbol that you see here.
living like a long time.
So you could write.
That there's the beginning is the end is the beginning. Like everything kind of interloops into itself.
Puede ser que tenga una cuadra y parece un 8. That's so crazy. Eso de
This
ellos,
was a
¿no?
piece of German propaganda.
Okay, so that is Mrs. List, by the way, our ELA teacher doing a U.S. history lesson analyzing World War I propaganda posters. Okay, so now I will invite Ms. Lozada to speak.
Hi, my name is Annalise Lozada. I'm the school clinician, and actually I joined STEPS Academy in November, a little after the school had started, the school year had started. My primary role is providing counseling services to students that have IEP goals, social emotional goals, and that consists of 30-minute individual sessions. I currently have about 5 students that I see that are mandated for counseling. In addition to that, I do the daily case management services. A lot of our kids participate in mental health counseling outside of school. A couple kids have probation. So I maintain contact with those providers. I provide daily crisis intervention, and that consists of individual contact with the kids about what's going on, why is your attendance, an issue, what are some things happening at home, and I have ongoing student and parent engagement. And based on the needs of the school, I organize monthly activities consisting of Students of the Month, where the teachers get together and nominate 2 students. We've had boy, girls, 2 boys, and the whole idea is to recognize positive behavior. And part of the rewards that they receive is either a special breakfast or a lunch with me, that's the treat, or a gift card of their choice. Every month we have a theme. So this right here in the PowerPoint is our March Madness, where we had a friendly competition between the 2 classrooms, and the kids engaged in team building skills, and they were challenged on their attendance, and the winning classroom picked a pizza party. It's all about food with these kids, yeah. Also, based on the needs of the students, we organized weekly group for girls to build on the mutual support for them. What else? And so just to get the kids excited about coming to school and participating and being engaged. I also want to emphasize that we maintain contact with the guidance department here at the high school to make sure that our students are, how do you say that, complying, I guess, with their grade expectations of like SATs and LOS testing. And we had a good turnout when we built on those incentives for them to complete those requirements.
Well, I'll tell you, I would be remiss if I did not add the fact that Miss Lozada is the reason we all laugh in our building a lot. So she brings a lot of laughter, a lot of joy to our building and to our staff for sure. Another key feature, our staff development. So based on our goals set in September around student attendance, credit attainment, teacher effectiveness, and parent involvement, it says for students under 18 because our goal was set based around parent-teacher conferences. So we do have a lot of adult students that are on their own. They registered on their own. They can come and go as they please, although we did everything in our power to keep them there. And they had their own parent-teacher conference. I mean, it was a, teacher-student conference, really. So that worked out well. And the topics that we've had to support our goal setting is Wheeler Clinic came in to do some social emotional learning training, PMT training we had, which is restraint training for crisis intervention, SAT preparation for us to proctor the SATs to our juniors, and a lot of internal building and school climate. That is where Ms. Lozada stepped in. Seriously, every Monday, we would have a staff meeting and professional learning conversations, and even weeks where we really didn't have a whole lot on the agenda because it may have been a shortened week. Everyone in that building wanted to get together anyway, and we did, and we'd always find something to talk about and come up with new ideas. Let me make sure it's slide here. Okay, so we have some staff testimonials, including Mrs. Whitney McCormick. I'll have you come up first, and then we'll play Mrs. Liss.
Hi everyone, I'm Whitney McCormick. I've been serving as a part-time special education teacher at Windham Steps Academy. I'm so proud of the achievements that the students and staff at Windham Steps have made this year. The school feels more like a family, and although we are small, we are definitely very mighty. The support we have been able to provide our students has directly impacted their academic and behavioral success this year. Smaller student-to-staff ratios, mastery-based learning, a schedule that allows for additional individualized support, and a clinician on site have all contributed to the success at Steps Academy this school year. Witnessing students beginning to take ownership of their learning and taking steps to be responsible adults, both in and out of school, has been invaluable. Having the opportunity to work closely with students as they explore career and post-secondary interests has taught me just how meaningful this school is to them. Students have volunteered at organizations throughout the community, applied and been hired for jobs, and enrolled in training programs. Yesterday, one student came to me to make arrangements to meet with me during lunch because he wanted help with enrollment paperwork for a job that he had just been offered. So that was a big success. The staff at Windham Steps is so appreciative that we have had the opportunity to provide our students with the support they need, and we're so thankful to the community for the support that you've given us along the way. Thank you.
And man, are we lucky to have Mrs. McCormick, I'll tell you what, because she is Windham Center's Teacher of the Year this year, and well-deserved, so we were really lucky to be able to snag her, even if it is on a part-time basis. Here we go. This is, again, Mrs. Liss.
Liliana Liss. I'm an English teacher here at Windham Steps Academy. I've been working here since September of 2018, so been here all school year. The first thing I noticed upon arriving at the school is just how welcoming the students are, and still are, of course. And they were just very enthusiastic to get started. They had some disruptions in their education process, for a variety of reasons. They started some of them at Path Academy, and they came here after Path closed. Other students were just transitioning here as they served out an expulsion. But regardless of where they came to us from, they had a diverse background and diverse needs and strengths, and of course, similar goal in mind, graduation, because who doesn't want to graduate on time or catch up? So, like I said, I teach English, but I also do teach some U.S. history courses. And in my time, I've noticed that the most important part is really getting to know the student, building those relationships with them, because that allows me to tap into that knowledge to then teach them, whether it's Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven or World War I, which is what we're currently learning.
Awesome. So, Mrs. Liss came to us, and you might be able to see the little baby bump there on the bottom, because, even while working with us, she managed to become a mom. So, and Mrs. Liss, this is her first year teaching. You would never, ever know it as a first-year teacher. And I've got to tell you, I know we're a small staff, but one teacher was out 2 half days all year, and the other teacher 1 day, and that was she came in so sick we made her leave. So our attendance rate is phenomenal. Yes. Seriously, they did not want to let the students down or each other. So phenomenal staff here.
That was outstanding.
Okay, so here are 4 of our young ladies who are going to speak.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We just have a few questions to ask you about your experiences here at Steps, but before we begin, I'm going to have each of you just state your name and what year you are here. So we'll start here and go across.
My name is Diamond and I'm a senior. My name is Tatiana and I'm a junior.
My name is Jahar and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Julitza and I'm a senior.
Excellent, thank you. So I'd like to ask, what have your experiences been like here at STEPS this year? Julie.
My experience at STEPS has been great because I'm able to accomplish more and I'm able to ask for help and talk to anybody without being afraid to speak up.
Thank you. I'm going to jump over to Tatiana.
My experience at Windham Steps has been amazing. I started off as a sophomore and I am a junior. It has changed my life in different ways, and I did this with having a part-time job.
Nice, nice. I know you've been working really hard. How about you, Joanna?
My experience here has been really, really good. It was complicated at first, but I got comfortable and I could talk to the teachers, anybody I would want to talk to, and I feel really comfortable with them, talking to them and doing my work and getting good grades.
Thank you. How about you, Diamond?
My experience has been challenging because I started off as a junior, but now I'm a senior, graduating in 3 weeks, and it took a lot of hard work and support.
It certainly has, and you've done it well. Okay, so now I'd like to ask, with only a few weeks left to go, what are you doing currently here at STEPS? We'll go left to right.
I'm working on my capstone and I'm presenting tomorrow. I'm working on getting good grades, finishing school, and graduating.
I am working on getting good grades, finishing, graduating, and going to college.
I am currently working on getting ready to present my capstone, which I present on Friday.
Great. And I have to tell you, we are looking forward to these capstone presentations, that's for sure. And what about your future? What are you looking to do once you are all done?
I plan to get my high school diploma on June 11th and become a CNA.
I plan on graduating, going to college, going to junior year, finishing off great, graduating from Windham High School or any school, and going to college and becoming a marine veterinarian.
When I finish school, I want to go to college and become a nurse. I plan on going to college for cosmetology and pursuing my dreams.
Excellent. Ladies, I want to thank you. I am so thrilled that you're all looking to go and further your education once you are done, and thank you for joining us here this morning.
All right. They're. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. So they're awesome. The one second to the left, she says she works part-time, and she does. She works at Kentucky Fried Chicken. You've probably seen her there. Oh, they're your cousins. And she is, I want you to know, we've taught our students to be honest, and she is. She won't even hook me up with a free number 7. But hey, I tell you what, I'm going to let it go. That's all right. Good for her. Our biggest success, I'll tell you what, it's titled Our Biggest Success, even though I think all of our successes are big, because we look at this as our biggest success because in September, we had 7 seniors based on earned credits. One of those students withdrew, so there we had 6. 3 who were credit shy of senior status were poked, woken up, and prodded. And in other words, they were highly encouraged and supported in their efforts to not only reach senior status, but to do credit recovery and graduate with the other 6 as well, which is how we have the 9. And we do have another one. He's really, really working hard to get it done. And I think we may hit 10 for June 11th graduation. Okay, here we have some other important outcomes. Real quick, I know we're taking up a lot of time here. I want to keep it moving. Credit attainment for all STEP students. 17 students are currently on target with our goals set in September. And that goal was that at least 75% of our seniors in September would earn enough credits to graduate. We have more than that, so we're over 100%. Also, that at least 60% of all other students, that would be freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, would earn 5 1/4 of the 6 possible credits throughout the year. And that we are on target with as well. So we aimed high, and we're very proud of those results. You want to do the career? There's 2 more points on here, Dr. Garcia.
Really quickly, part of our important outcomes is our students that graduated early. Our 3rd student that actually presented and had his capstone done, he came back to school and let us know that he had applied to Manchester Community College and got accepted. Julissa was one of the students that was interviewed, and she did her capstone volunteer hours at St. Joseph's, and after graduation will be attending CNA program, and she'll be offered a job at St. Joseph's. And Diamond, she has overcome a lot, and she was the one that started as a junior, and despite everything that was thrown at her, now she's a senior and is looking into enrolling, well, I think she did get accepted to the cosmetology school where she did part of her field placement.
And the last point, and our last one.
Our last one was that there's been a significant reduction in the number of office referrals at our school. There's been a total of 97 office referrals this school year. 89 of them were written in the first 5 months, and there's only been 8 in the last 3 months. So that's very
So
That is really, really impressive report that you gave overall. Thank you. I'll let you finish, Dr. Garcia, then we'll open it up to questions.
So I want to go back to our mission and our vision that said all students, every day. And this is an example of what it means, all students. This is a group of students that did not fit the traditional high school, comprehensive high school. But we were sure of 2 things, that they deserve another opportunity, and that they deserve access to a good quality education. I think when I was hearing the students speaking, the young lady speaking, my heart, I wanted to cry, because all of them were very clear about what they want to do. They're very clear about their future. And so they're graduating and they have a plan of what they're going to do. So I want to thank the board, and I want to thank all my colleagues and everybody that during those couple months at the beginning of the school year worked till 7 and 8 o'clock at night, making sure that we could start this program. And we didn't have even the money to start this program. There was not even a budget for this program. And I remember spending days and days at the State Department saying, we need the money to start this program. And we didn't have a location to start this program, remember? And we look at places to start this program. This is what education is all about. It's making sure that every student gets what he needs. And these students were able to get what they need in another environment, in another location, and their different approach. But it doesn't matter. The outcome is that they're going to be successful. So again, I am so happy, and happy for the students. I'm happy for Windham Public School to live up to its mission and its vision of every student mean every single student. All students, it means all, even if they're not here at the high school and they're in another location. Because of that, we are starting thinking about what is the future of this program? What's going to happen in year 2? We already know what happened in year 1, and we want this program to continue, but we want this program to even be better. I believe that everyone that worked in this program did a wonderful job this year, but we want it to be better. And we want it to continue to give students the support that they need. And we want more support to take place. I know that this year Mrs. Lozada did a pretty good job with your case management, but we know that SEL, social emotional, and trauma are 2 things that we need to address even more with these students. And also speaking to these students and hearing what they said, we know that career readiness is another aspect that we need to address even more with the students. So we start looking based on the needs that the students have, based on the capacity that we have in the district, including human capital and funding. We start looking at other partners to partner with us. So we have asked EastCon to partner with us for next year. Or we're going to partner with EastCon, however we want to take a look at it. Maybe we are partnering with them. We selected EastCon for a couple reasons. Number 1, they will follow our model, and they will work with our students that are overage and undercredited, and also accelerate them the same way you guys accelerate them in order for them to get their credit. So they will follow that model, and they will make sure that students complete their high school program. Okay, it will require referral from the school. So someone will not walk up to the program. It will require referral from the school, and what that means is that there will be constant conversation and communication between school and EastCon, and we want that to take place. We just don't want to send a student there and just a bus that's taking them there. We want to make sure that they know why the student is coming, what are the concerns that they have, what are the great attributes that the student have, and how to work with them. So that's something that we spoke about. Okay, they will have the coursework to graduate the same way that you presented here, and that will lead to their diploma. And EastCon have a range of different diploma. So they have the traditional school diploma, they have the credit diploma, Camacho is credit diploma, they call it, credit diploma, and they have some other options also there. They will offer personalized learning, and they will also offer service in the community, like some of the things that you do, but they have a range of other community agencies where students can work. And definitely career skills, prepare them for career, is one of the ones that they also can offer, since they have different vocational programs that we do not have. One of the barriers and one of the obstacles that we have to work with is that their services for special ed and ELL would be limited, and that's something we have to work with. But we look at EastCon as a partner and find that they can enhance the program and can offer more services to our students, as we think that our students want to be much more prepared for career. We heard the young lady that want to be a CNA, cosmetology, and some of those things we cannot offer here. So for next year, the plan, and we've been in conversation with EastCon, is to be able to partner with them and to continue the program with them at EastCon. So, any question?
I think we'll open it up to questions. Mike?
My question is, if we partner with EastCon, what happens with the positions that are currently there, the staff?
Well, we have to observe the staff that are our staff. So, for example, the people that work at STEP that are our staff will be observed by the public school, by Windham Public School.
How will we pay for this program?
Well,
This partnership with
So
with
actually, in the budget that we did put money for the alternative school for the students in the budget, in the current budget for 1920 is in there. That is going to be much less than what it currently costs us.
So, do you recall how much is in the budget?
We put about, I think, $250,000.
Does EastCon charge a tuition on a per student basis?
Yes, so the discussion that we have currently with EastCon is they selected a tuition per student basis. We're working in getting a tuition per slot. That way, if we send a student for 3 months, then we have that slot. So not only the tuition will be per student per slot. So we're working on that. The other thing is that EastCon is looking at lowering maybe the tuition based on the number of students that they have. So they have not set a determined tuition, maybe between $16,000 or $18,000, maybe 15. Depends on how many students they have.
Mary?
Well, I'm a little concerned that we haven't planned for special ed yet. That's piece is not.
No, what I said is that they said that their services for special ed and ELL would be limited. They don't have, what I mean limited is that maybe in the site that they're going to use, they will have to have special ed support services come from other site. So that's something we're going to work with them. I mean, part of this relationship is a working relationship in progress. So the conversation started many months ago, and we always meet. As we meet, we bring different people to the table that can answer some of those questions. They bring their people, I bring my people, and so we continue this conversation. So next time will be Dr. Ratna with Miguel. We'll come and say, okay, how we can meet these services.
Murphy and then Mike.
So how many students do we have on average this year?
About 25. Right, John?
Okay, so
25.
if EastCon's tuition's going to be 15 to 16,000 per, then 250 is not going to be enough.
Well, remember, they're graduating. We have about 10 of them that are graduating. We don't expect.
Yeah, but we will presumably add more. I mean, they're not going to disappear. We'll be adding more.
Correct.
So 25 is probably a number that we can kind of count on into the future. We'll graduate some, and we'll add some who find that Windham High School just doesn't meet their needs, just like the 25 that were there to begin with.
Well, we hope not to add more than 25. I'll hope it's not a strategy.
But if we have 25, it's going to cost closer to 375 than 250. That's the rub. We're going to have to find some more money than we have in the budget.
If we get up to that amount.
Well, seems likely.
Mike.
My question was along the same lines. I was just thinking of figures, and it just didn't seem like enough money. And the question, my previous question, think, maybe I didn't explain or ask it the right way. The staff that's there now, if they're going to EastCon, then that staff will no longer be,
No, the staff that is there currently are Windham Public School employees, and they will remain Windham Public School employees.
They will be absorbed.
They will absorb
back
with
they're going
us.
to come back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the question is, are there vacancies for these positions? Yes, there are.
So none of the staff currently there will be laid off, or they all have positions?
Which one doesn't have a position? Security?
They were all on 1 year only.
They were 1 year contract, but let me explain that. They were 1 year contract, but we have an English opening position, we have a physics position, we have a special ed position, so we have opening vacancy where they can go, all of these positions. We have administrative position.
Was
She's contracted
so that ends.
by Wheeler,
That
with
ends,
Wheeler,
yeah.
yeah. So she's the only one that is not our employee.
But I am looking for a job.
Well, so let me go back to the teachers or your concern. So we have an English teacher and we have a math teacher at the school. We have an English vacancy and we have several math vacancies. We have one English vacancy in the district, but several math already,
So they're able to apply for those
Yeah.
positions.
and be absorbed by the district.
And what about the administrators?
Same thing.
There's positions, we have
Yes,
positions.
yes. And particularly when Mrs. Haddock position took the position, it was a 1 year position, we make sure that she also have her position to return. So these things were taking place at the beginning of the year.
I would go back to my teaching position. And I certainly am free to apply for any admin positions that I'm eligible or qualified for.
Ms. McCormick she's part-time, so she has her position in the district.
Tracy? As I've said before, I sat on the board when it was the previous school, and to graduate 10 students, 9 students definitely, and possibly a 10, is double what Path Academy was ever able to accomplish. So I think that's phenomenal to be able to get those numbers and maintain those students and really connect with them. It took a lot of effort, and it took a lot of special connections that weren't able to happen before. And I think that they should be applauded for that, because the goal is to get these students graduated and having a high school diploma so they can do something more with their lives. And that was phenomenal that they've been able to accomplish that. All of them, not just Ms. Haddad, although she was the school leader, all of them working together. People working not in concert with each other is the problem, one of the major problems that Path Academy had, and it's fabulous that they've done this well in just a year.
So
Tremendous leadership and tremendous teamwork.
So let's talk about the teamwork here. There are a lot of people that you don't see in sight that are working. You don't see Jose Camacho here tonight. He is at the Path Academy every week working on the attendance. Every single week is working on the attendance. Jose Camacho, Robinson Camacho with Lozada working to make sure the parents. So this was a teamwork. Tracy working with us on the curriculum, John calling and so it's not only the people that you saw in the building, it's the whole team that was there and behind the scene making this happen. Everyone has a role, and
Us off the ground,
Suzanne Craw, yeah, everybody has a role in making this happen. And even when the program was in session, we still have to continue working with the state. With the number of days and the attendance. I mean, there are so many other issues to get it done, but I am very, very pleased, very honored, and to be part of this team, and very proud of the work that has been done by the Windham Public School team to get this work. I'm proud of the students.
Yeah.
When you hear this young lady speak, we're very proud of them. Very, very proud of them.
I really would like to add real quick that I honestly.
Joanne, you should really talk into the mic, because the people watching can't tell what you're saying.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I really want to say that it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve the district in this capacity. I do want to thank Dr. Garcia. I want to thank the Board of Education. Dr. Youngberg, phenomenal support. Thank you. And all across that table, everyone, phenomenal support for this program. And we all have something we should be proud of here. Thank you.
And I want to say, this was a perfect example of how do we meet the needs of the students. And this totally different than a little bit the comprehensive high school, but meeting the needs of the students here require really some strategic step, and we took every step. We make sure that we're taking the right step to meet the needs of the students.
I know Ilda had a question, and then Tracy had another one, and I also have a few more. So go ahead, Ilda.
So first, I want to say, this is amazing, the success and the work that you guys have done. It's amazing. On the other hand, I'm sad, too, that it has to end. And I hope that EastCon can pick up where you guys left off with the students, and especially with the achievement that you've, the success that you've had. The other thing is, it sounds like you have a very, very, very awesome behavioral model. So now, with that being said, is there a possibility we could bring that into the middle school?
The short answer is that we've been having conversation with Mrs. Haddock, and she's been showing me a lot of charts and handbooks and things, and so she's going to be co-chairing a committee that looks at climate and culture and behavior to bring our expertise to help the entire district.
Thank you.
Tracy?
I'm just wondering, when we looked at the budget packet, it had the steps page and it didn't have any financial information. Where did we put the possible tuition for EastCon in that budget? I want to be able to, when somebody asks me where was that money in the budget,
Correct.
I
Sure.
need to be able to answer that, and I don't know where it landed.
Very good question. There were $250,000 that I directed the Director of Finance to put in there. Chris, do you know exactly what line you put the 250?
Part of the tuition increase.
You put it in tuition increase? Okay.
Thank you.
Just, I want to clarify, because people may be watching this or sitting over here in the chairs and wondering, why are we not doing this another year? And part of that is a pure financial, mathematical decision, and part of that is resources, and part of that is the building itself is actually being sold by the state. When Path, when our piece of the pie defaulted on their payments, the state had put up the money for the renovations to that building, and it's being sold by the state.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even have that building to use in perpetuity for this program.
Actually, Pat doesn't own the building. A piece of the pie doesn't own the
Right,
building
it's the
anymore.
state. It's the state.
Yeah, and it's put up for. I think they already found a buyer for that building, so that building would not be there. And Mrs. Is correct. Financial is one reason, but I think also the opportunity to partner with EastCon gave us the opportunity to have more services for the students, different services that can enhance their learning and enhance their development.
But people may not remember that we got an additional $400,000 from the state to help us through this year.
One time.
A one time. So we aren't going to get that in after this year. So I just don't want people watching this to say, that doesn't make any sense. They told this great story of all this accomplishment, and then why are they walking away from it?
Good point.
Mark?
Yeah, just a clarification. Is EastCon creating a program for us, or are we joining an existing EastCon program?
They don't have an existing program. They started this once we asked them to start partnering with us. So
program
they're
for
creating from scratch, yes.
Yeah, but am I correct in that EastCon's plan is for this to be broader than Windham? I mean, the original idea of Path Academy is it was going to be a multi-town program, and Steps Academy was just Windham. So
No, Steps Academy was on Windham, you're correct. Yeah, their intention is that they could invite other district. We will be the primary district. So at this point, the conversation.
So the dream is that students from the entire EastCon catchment region would be eligible to come, so that there would be students from other places than just Windham who could take advantage of this program.
Yes.
Jaime, do you have a question?
Yeah, where is EastCon located? Where will the students be at? Location?
They're going to be in Windham, in Willimantic.
Where?
They're finding another, I don't have the liberty yet to say, but they're finding another building on Main Street. As Mrs. Lynn, I said that building is no longer available, but they're getting another building on Main Street. So I don't want to say exactly.
Be at liberty.
Because it's not our
contract.
It's on a contract, so I'm not liberty to say yet, but
Just start
to the public,
announcing
yeah,
it
but they
until
haven't.
until the contract's finalized.
Well, they're on the contract discussing another location, and the contract cannot be signed.
EastCon, just so people know, moves their programs around a lot throughout the region. One of my children works at East Con in a classroom with high school boys, and like every year they're moving programs from different places in the region. So what we think may be the case right now, it's their prerogative. They run their own programs. We can't dictate where they place them.
And they have several locations here in the area, several buildings. If you take a look, I think there's one close by at the intersection of 66 and 6th. They have something there.
Well, aren't they located on Route 66?
One of the offices there.
One of their places.
Well, they have
At
offices.
one point, we had a program there, Windham did. We sent some students to ISCON and
Yeah, Columbia, yes.
Yeah, Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, about what, 8 years ago?
No, not that long ago.
No,
4 years ago,
no,
like that?
no.
So then they moved them up to by Walmart.
Early childhood was in Columbia
In
2
Columbia,
years ago.
yeah, 2 years ago.
And then they took that.
No,
East
I'm
Con took
talking
that-
about special education kids. I'm talking about special
Well,
education.
I mean, we're speculating right now, so I don't really think it's,
Well, I just want some information. Is that a problem?
it's not a problem to have
Well, then
information,
I
but we.
don't know. I'm asking you not to see if that is the same approach, because we did have a program there with ISCON.
What you mean? Repeat your question. I'm trying to answer your question.
I just wanted to know if the approach would be the same. They used to have on Route 66.
Yeah.
They used to have, and we used to send the students there. Windham did.
Special education students.
Special education, and similar to the Path Academy kids.
So I want to be clear that this is not a special education program. This is an alternative school
Right.
program, so a little bit different. So when the students go for special education, they go for some particular type of services.
I may have used the wrong word, but it was alternative too.
Okay. Good. So as soon as they tell me what the location, I know they already discussed the location, but I want to wait till they sign the
It's
contract.
just,
I will let the board know
location
immediately.
really doesn't matter. I just wanted to
No,
know.
location
that.
really does matter because a lot of our students don't have transportation. And that was
Right.
one of the problems we had before, was getting students there. Because we had students in Norwich and Waterford. Path started a satellite school, not Board of Ed. Path started OPT started a satellite school, and getting students to and from these different places was really a hardship we had to overcome. So,
Direct impact on attendance.
and it has a direct impact
I
on
can
it.
ensure the location is in Willimantic.
So
We
having
just
it in
can't tell you
Hampton or-
where.
Right.
What building?
In another week, I will let you know.
And one of the reasons that we can't maintain this program is I just did the math. If we spent $525,000 on 25 students, it's $21,000 per student. Without state support, we can't economically support that kind of a program long-term.
And
When our
give them
budgets are cut every year.
the kind of services that they need.
To be
So-
successful.
To be
because it's really
successful,
working,
right.
But we can't sustain that, so.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, those of you who came from the Steps Academy to present today. And I hope you recognize the applause. People don't always get applause when they present here at this board. Okay, we have 3 action items on the agenda this evening. The first one is a recommended approval of the appointment of the Director of Human Services, and in our board packet, we got some background information on Ms. Stephanie Garrett, and I was wondering whether you'd like to come up to the table, Ms. Garrett, and introduce yourself. And some of us didn't get to go to the meet and greet last week, and if there's anything you want to share with us about yourself and why you're interested in coming here.
Well, Stephanie Garrett, and originally, I'm from Ohio, and I journeyed over here because I have 2 children. One, a son that played basketball over at UConn, and then a daughter who's older than him. Older than him. And my interest in Windham in particular is because it is a place that I feel that I can help elevate or move in a collaborative way to a space, because I was like a lot of Windham children. I was that kid at 14, right? So I was pregnant at 14, and I had a child at 15. So that's when my daughter, a lot of people don't know that I am actually 50 years old. My daughter is 35. And so I come from a space where I really am looking to help a district or a place move forward and being empathetic and collaborative and helping people understand what the experience was that I went through so that they can help move that experience through the whole phase of it. So that's why I'm interested in Windham in particular, because I just really want to advance our global community in a space where I think that we need to be and where we need to go. I mean, for people to really understand, you know, who it is that we are and what children really are thinking, because I still remember those things. I still remember being ostracized. I still remember all the bad things, but I also remember all of the good things where I shouldn't have survived. I should have been a statistic. I should have been that person that did not make it to where it is I was, but I graduated on time because I had a counselor. I had an English teacher. I had a drama teacher. I had the debate team teacher who did everything. And so they taught me, even when I had my children, and I didn't necessarily guide them to where they were, but I've coached my children through their entire lives. And so when I hear about the Steps Academy, if that was available for my daughter, and she ended up she was an A student, but then she came to me one day because I pressed her so hard because of my own experience, that she came to me one day and she said, you know what, I really don't want to be an A student. I just want to be average. And so I had to look at myself and say, I guess that really is okay. You know, everyone doesn't want to be a rocket scientist, right? And so I said to her, if you want to be average, then don't bring me anything less than a C. Be average. Because there are a lot of us that live in society on an average level. We just want to live and be successful in who we are and where we are. And so when I'm looking at Windham and I saw the information that we had, I just saw me here. And so that is why I want to be at Windham.
Thank you.
Wow, that's quite an answer.
Plausible.
Well, it's the truth. It is really the truth.
It's inspiring, very inspiring.
Hooray.
Is there anything you want to add, Dr. Garcia?
First of all, I do want to give a little background. Stephanie, thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to having you here. I just want to give a little bit of information about Mrs. Garrett, that she does come with a background in human resources from the district of Euclid City.
Euclid City Schools.
And also Norwalk Public School. Yes. So she does have experience in human resources, and she had a degree from Indiana Wesleyan in management. Indiana Wesleyan in Indiana.
Indiana Wesleyan University, and I also
yes,
Indiana.
And she does have a degree in education, organizational leadership from Rutgers University. Yeah. So she does have a background and the qualification, and have a tremendous experience working with employee relation, labor relation, et cetera, et cetera. With that said, I do want to say, I know this is not the moment, we'll have another lengthy speech about that, but do want to thank Ms. Geraldine Beguero. Geraldine has been with me for 5 years now, and I actually was the person that promoted her to that position, and it has been a pleasure working with Geraldine. I think I'm not going to miss the Director of Human Resources. I also want to miss a great friend, a mother. We talk all the time about things that happen to our daughters and childcare. Geraldine is moving to another state, a state that does not have snow. So we envy that of her. Her husband has a great opportunity, but she's going to be missed. And I want to thank you personally, Geraldine, for the hard work and for I don't know who I'm going to talk about the dips anymore. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. But Geraldine had a task to really put some system in place in that department, and she has done so. And as I said to you, that's the next step to move it to the next level. But Geraldine, again, thank you for your work.
And she has been great to me the whole time that I've gone through this process. I will say that.
So I'll entertain a motion on the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor of approving Stephanie Garrett as Director of Human Resources. It says Human Services on this agenda. Human Resources. Yes. Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? It's unanimous.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. I look forward to all of the collaboration.
She's going to have to learn dips. Right?
No, she has experience with Muni. She has all experience with all those systems already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is recommended approval of the appointment of the Director of Facilities, and we have Ms. Dawn Tamakos as the candidate for that position. And why don't you come up and share with us sort of this, you don't have to give the same kind of speech,
I can't
but
beat that speech.
just a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in coming here.
Dawn Tamakis. I started out in East Hartford. I started as a custodian, and I was promoted to head custodian in East Hartford, and I was actually the very first female head custodian in the system, so I was proud about that. So I worked there for about 11 years, so I got to know the business. I also had my own cleaning, commercial cleaning business, so I have a lot of cleaning background with that. Then I decided to have a career change, and I was an officer in Meriden.
A police officer?
Police, yes. Officer, yes. Yeah, it lasted only a year. I did not like it. My vision was totally different than actually, on the job and, doing that. So then I was stuck with what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I really like facilities. I mean, I just, I just like the business. So got back into, supervisor, worked up to manager, and I've been, in the facility industry now about 18 years. I've gone back to, my first attempt at college right out of high school wasn't very good, but later in life I did go back to Manchester, got my degree there. Last year, in 2018, I graduated from Eastern with a bachelor's.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And also I went through BOMI International. I got my facility management certificate there. That was last summer as well. I completed that. Windham, I live in Columbia, so I'm close by. Being a facility director, I think it's important to be close to the community where you are, because you don't know what type of emergencies could arise, especially during the winter time. So being accessible, to Windham, is very easy for me. And I like living this side of the river too. So big difference from the west side. So.
So Dr. Garcia, is there anything you
So
want?
as you can see, Mrs. Dawn Tamakos come with a very interesting background to us, from custodian to police officer, very, very interesting background. And as she says, she has a degree in business administration from Eastern Connecticut, but she has spent about 11 years in the industry, and currently she is the safety and facility manager at Pitney Boyce. Right, correctly?
Correct, yes.
Correctly. And previously served as assistant director of facility of the community renewal team. So she has a tremendous background in facility management, also in custodian, and also being a police officer. So what a wonderful combination. Thank you for being here tonight, and welcome to Windham Public School.
Thank you.
So I'll entertain a motion on this appointment of Ms. Tamakos to the Director of Facilities.
So moved. A second.
Made by Mary, seconded by Ilda. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? James, you can't vote. All those opposed? Any opposed, any abstentions? I think it's unanimous, right? Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we have one other item on the agenda. There was recommended approval of the revised minutes from the February 13th, 2019 Board of Education meeting. And
Actually,
Murphy?
Wasn't it February 10,
February 13th.
13?
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so actually, since we approved the minutes, this is actually amending the minutes
Yes.
of rather than revising them.
So we have to
And-
amend this.
So what we did in February is we did vote to approve participation in the certification of the National Lunch Program, but we left it with some ambiguity here in terms of what's required. So in order to not end up with some difficulty in terms of our eligibility for continued participation, we need to kind of clear this up a little bit, which means that we need to, first we need to act on 3 separate motions, and then we need to agree to revise the minutes of the February meeting to show that we, in fact, intended to approve these specific things. So the first motion, actually, there are 3 pieces, but unless there's an objection, I'd like to combine them into a single motion. So
Is that okay with folks? There are 3 things having to do with this
Okay.
program.
So what we're moving to do is to approve implementation of the healthy food option of the healthy food certification program, which we've participated in for a number of years. The second part is to approve food exemptions after the school day for things like school events, basketball games, concession stands, and whatnot, which means that they wouldn't necessarily have to follow all the food requirements at the concession stand. And likewise, to approve the beverage exemption, which would allow them to serve a broader range of beverages at concession stands after schools than after the school day, then we could serve during the school day and participate in that healthy food option program, okay? So
So you're making that motion?
I'm making it as a motion to approve the healthy food option, to approve food exemptions after the school day, and allow beverage exemptions after the school day.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. Any discussion?
Does this have any, if we allow these sugary snacks afterwards, does that have any effect on the grant?
No, in fact, it makes it possible for us to remain eligible.
I just want to make sure that we don't lose money because we allow.
Right, right.
Thank you.
I think it's clarification, yeah.
Yeah, it's a clarification.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion that's on the floor? Any opposed?
Okay.
Any abstentions? No? Okay.
Finally, I'd like to move that the board revise the minutes of the February 13th meeting to indicate that we approved the implementation of the healthy food option and voted yes for the food and beverage exemptions after the school day.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Okay, that should clean that
Okay.
up. Thank you very much.
So then the last item on the agenda is public comment on discussion items only.
Lynn?
Oh, pardon?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to know if I could make a comment.
Yeah, sure.
Just, I think sometimes we have not correctly indicated executive sessions, because I did go back to look at some minutes. So whether perhaps we need a refresher in the FOI requirements, but I also want to say it's an urgent matter for us as a board to rebuild the public trust in our school district and our board. We will be constrained by what we can say specifically about certain matters, certain legal matters, and we must preserve confidentiality in the process, but we must show parents and families, students, teachers, and staff, and the citizens of this town that we are serious about looking at ourselves and what we can do to improve our stewardship of this district, and our transparency. And I just felt I needed to say that tonight.
That was very well put, Mary. Thank you. Thank you. Tracy?
I wanted to say this, I didn't realize Mary was going to speak to, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, because I totally agree with you. I just wanted to make it clear that when the uniform policy was implemented, and this isn't a back and forth, and I think that the gentleman has left that spoke earlier, this isn't a back and forth, but the board made it clear at that time that suspensions, expulsions, et cetera, are not supposed to happen based on the uniform policy. Students are not supposed to miss class time because of non-compliance with the uniform policy. And so if that's going on in our buildings, it needs to stop and be amended. And I know we're coming close to the end of the school year, but especially with a new push next year, every, new principal seems to have a new push. In this building, in the middle school especially, we'll have new principals next year, that the uniform policy was put in place for equity, and whether you believe in it or not doesn't matter. It's our policy right now. Whatever the schools decide to put into effect is what they need to stick with. But students are not supposed to miss class time and educational opportunities because of their non-compliance with the uniform. So I just want to make sure going forward that everybody's aware of that fact, and students shouldn't be getting suspended and expelled because they have the wrong shoes. There's conferences with parents, there's lots of other things that we discussed, and that I'm sure are in the minutes and not in the policy, to kind of augment that.
Well, we'll make sure, I mean, as Dr. Garcia, we'll make sure there's a response to Mr. Flores's questions, and we'll share them with the board.
There's another piece of that too, and that is that we do have a policy which can be found online, but the implementation of the policy is school by school, and it's handled through the school governance councils, which is, so if there's a question about what is the definition of a sandal,
Right.
that's handled at the school level. That's not a board question.
I wasn't arguing the
we're not
uniform, I
saying
was
that.
arguing
So,
Consequences.
but even that
Consequences,
sort of thing,
exactly.
right? So, I mean, I can understand where there might be some confusion about, given that fashions change and that things don't look like they used to look. I mean,
Okay.
so those kinds of issues should be handled at the school level.
Mike?
This isn't a fashion issue, and Tracy's 100% right, and this board is the place where this is going to be dealt with. This board sets policy, and that's a policy. And I was on the board when that was set. These students are not to be suspended or taken out of class for anything, for anything to do with that dress code. So this is a board, it's not for the Student Governance Council, it's not for the PTO or whoever else. This board sets the policy, it's in black and white, and it shouldn't be done. And if,
Nobody's arguing that. Mike.
well, it is being argued, it's being argued that it's a change in fashion, it should go before the Student Governance Council. No. It should be going right to the principals and let them know that, no, this is, a new principal may not know that. We have enough problems in this district. No, you're not gonna argue because you're wrong. We have enough problems in this
Okay,
district.
let's be.
You don't need to go after
Mike,
kids
Mike, let's be
wearing the
civil.
wrong shoe.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, we don't need to be, I think everybody, the point has been made clearly. We said early on in the meeting that a written response would be given to Mr. Flores and it will be shared with the board. Thank you. We have a clear policy on it. Any other, James, this is comment on discussion items.
That's why I'm coming after you.
Okay,
I'm coming after you.
okay.
Because I have with you every time they shut the microphone off on me, and I say to you, the reason I don't come to this meeting, because I'm sick and tired these gentlemen shut the microphone on me. And you say to me that this item on discussion item only was eliminated. Also, distinguished and prestigious Mr. Murphy confirmed in front of you that this policy was banned. That because I want to talk about my puppy today, and you say you can talk everything you want.
What would, James, just.
You say that to me.
James, okay, go ahead and say what you want to say to us. Let's not just talk about what you want to complain about. Say what you want to say.
But
to
I don't
us.
want the microphone be shut down on me.
The microphone will not be shut
Okay,
down
thank
on
you. Because I want to go back to the budget.
Okay.
But I want to address the two prestigious and honorable ladies, the new director of human and director of facility. And that's my point. We need to educate not only the new employees, also most of the employees. Because in this town, we split in two towns. We got, like an example, June 4, we got 3 budgets for Willimantic Selby District. If you live in Windham, you got only 2 budgets. And that's important not only for the new employee, to the old employee, because they lost, that they don't know that June 4 is a budget. Now, when you're going to vote, the first budget is the Windham Public School, number 1 budget. Second budget is the general government. If you live in Willimantic, you vote for the 3rd budget, only for police and fire department. Now, if you live with the rich people in Windham, then you vote only for the school budget and general budget. And most of the people don't understand the process, especially people that came from other states. maybe in Ohio, they have only public hearing, they don't got referendum. In other towns, they don't have even referendum, not public hearing. And that is the job that people that educate children need to be educated about the process. And then I want to respond to my sister and honorable and prestigious Mrs. Dr. Patricia Garcia. I'm still waiting for almost for 3 months for the response about the so-called silent period. Because that I've been emailed to you back and forward. What silent period is? Because my wife works for the school. What does she do in bed with me? Nothing to do with the school. That's her private time. And to say that you work for Windham Public School, you cannot call people from home to encourage them to go out and vote. This issue has to be addressed as soon as possible. Because this reason, sometimes we cannot pass a budget because the so-called, if I make a phone call, I get in trouble. And Dr. Garcia, please, I want you to give me a response as soon as possible. I know not today. You got my phone number, you got my email. Honorable Dr. Lee.
I'm not a doctor.
Okay, you look like. Can you send me also the information about how that so-called silent period work, please?
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Dr. Lynn.
No way. Yes. Anybody else need or want to speak during public comment?
I got here late, so if there's a sign-up thing, I
Al, come on up.
Who's Erica? Who's Erica?
That's for Bank of America.
Bank of America. Anyway, Carol, Bank of America, you know. She is a financial virtual assistant.
Yes, Erica is a.
That will tell you that your bill is late and you haven't paid it yet. So I'm Al Korzinski. I live in Willamette, Connecticut. I have graduated 2 sons from the high school. I have one at the high school now and a middle schooler. I'm part of the middle school SGC and the Support Windham Public Schools Political Action Committee, and the founder of Voices and Volunteers for Windham Public Schools, the Facebook page that asks people to participate in supporting our schools. And so I'm here today, first of all, to recognize, many of the folks that are here on the board. I've personally had one-on-one conversations with just about everybody on this Board of Ed. I've either been on a committee, I've sat in a group with, and the reason many of those, I've had these interactions is because we were trying to elicit some change. Whether that would be at the middle school or the high school, whether that would be on an enrichment committee that I was on to help figure out what's the best way to utilize the time for our middle schoolers, or scheduling committees, things like that. Over the years, I felt there's been times where we've needed there's been times where I thought some change needed to happen. Personally, I had a son who had an incident. I'm not going to go into the details, but I will say that it was an incident that I was very upset with. And what I did was I called the principal, I sent some emails, I contacted our superintendent, and I mentioned it to the Board of Ed, and we had a meeting. And then we brought all the parties together, and I got an opportunity to share the information that I understood, and they had the opportunity to share the information that they had. And then we all separated. Our central office, the school, they did what they do. They went through a process, consulted a board maybe spoke to an attorney, and then a decision was made. And change happened. And and it doesn't really matter what the outcome of the change was, but what I do know is there was a process. And it seems right now, we seem to have some folks, and maybe even on our Board of Ed, who want change to happen and don't care about process. They seem to, whether they be feeding information. I had a post on my page today that was all I gotta say is that there was a letter, something sent, and clearly it had to come from someone here on this Board of Ed. And it was shared on this Voice and Volunteers page, a page where parents share accomplishments. They talk about getting out the vote. They sometimes share about bus problems. But what's not tolerated is what seems to sometimes be character assassinations, what sometimes seems to be half-truths or partial. It doesn't even matter. And it's really concerning. Now, I don't know for fact who that person is, so I can't say it. I don't have any, I have no fact. But it's clear that it came from someone at the Board of Ed. And I got to ask you, is that really how we want things to go about it? Is that really what we need in this district today? I would hope not. I would hope that as a board, you would be unified because your best interest is for our school district. Listen, we can all conquer and divide if we want to, but we know where that's going to end up. Ask any teacher, ask any principal right now, do they want to see, because of some sort of shenanigans, because a board or something can't get it together, the state to come in and say, hey, this is what we're doing, I don't care, you have no say. Ask a single teacher. There's someone here right now. There's principals that have been here, right? They've been through it. Do you think they want that? Is that the best for our school district? So when people are telling me they support the schools and this is why I do this or share this or say this, maybe they need to rethink what they're doing. I can tell you this. I am here. I have faith in this Board of Ed. And the reason I have faith in this Board of Ed is because today I'm dropping off one of my sons at RPI. He happens to be a computer science, aerospace engineering, major. He's going to work for the university. I'm on my way home, I'm saying, oh, wow, I could go see Alex. He's over at Northeastern University for computer science major. Thinking, oh, wow, next year, my stepdaughter will be right down the road at Simmons University, which is number 4 in nursing in the country, talking about his friend is going to Amherst College. What is my point? I have faith in this Board of Ed because I see, I've touched, I've hugged, I've kissed kids who have succeeded. Now, if you ask any one of those kids, was your experience perfect? Guess what they're going to say? No. School is too freaking hot. Right? We had to suffer for those uniforms. Some teachers are jerks. I don't understand why this world changed. But what they did get was an education that allowed them to walk into college with a year and a half worth of college credits. They get an experience of diversity, of challenges. And I believe that is what we are here for as parents, as Board of Education members. Let's go through the process that we need to. If something needs to change, if we believe in the process, guess what? It's going to change. But let's do it with some respect and with some dignity. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak during public comment?
Can't follow that.
Well,
It's a nice
it
way
was
to
a,
end.
okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Getting third.
Okay, meeting adjourned at
Second.
8:30.
Second and third.
Look at that.